What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. Look, man, I want to talk about something that it doesn't bother me either way. But I'm just like, I read something and then I saw a couple of videos and I got some information that Conor McGregor is fighting Manny Pacquiao over in the Philippines. Now, Manny Pacquiao says that a big portion of his pay is going to go to relief in the Philippines, against, COVID outbreak. Now, that's for the cause itself. Yeah, I get that. And that's all well and good. But let me rewind back real quick, because what's funny is how people are like, yeah, Pacquiao, yeah. Not that I care personally, but what's funny is not only did other boxers shoot Floyd down for fighting Conor McGregor. Oh man, even though it didn't even go on well, it went on his record. It was a $300 million payday. 2 combat sports fighters. One, kind of felt like, hey, I can beat Floyd. Like he said when he walked on that stage, when he seen Floyd face to face for the first time, he's too small. That with that arrogant smirk on his face, because that's what he thought. This motherfucker too little. I'm gonna beat his ass. And he was believing his own hype to the point where he underestimated Floyd. Now, regardless to that, it was $300 million for Floyd, $100 million for Conor. There's nobody else Floyd could have fought other than a Pacquiao. Even when he fought Pacquiao, that's the only person he could have fought to even get something like that. And after the first fight, nobody really wanted to see a second one. And even if they would have had a second one, it wouldn't have did close to what that first one did. Not even close. Manny Pacquiao himself even kind of smirked at it like, oh, But what was funny? Remember how all these people had something negative to say? But as soon as they made mentions that it was even a consideration of Canelo Alvarez versus Conor McGregor. And remember how Oscar De La Hoya, without hesitation, yeah. Floyd is tarnishing his legacy by fighting this guy, but Canelo wouldn't be. Manny Pacquiao wouldn't be. Now, I understand the cause, and that's all beautiful. But Pacquiao and Conor McGregor is not going to do $300 million. That's not happening. The funny thing about Conor, to me, is he's always fighting somebody that's a lot smaller than him. Why don't he try to fight a Canelo? Why don't he want to fight a Charlo? Somebody that's more his natural size. Why? Why does he always want to fight a small welterweight? Not even a big welterweight. Why doesn't he want to fight Errol Spence? Why does he always want to fight a small welterweight? Okay. So for people who's crazy about this fight, who feels like, I don't understand why. Now, truthfully, the only difference between Floyd and Pacquiao in terms of the fight itself is I believe Pacquiao is not going to carry him like Floyd did and play with him. Floyd, I think Pacquiao will go in there and just pretty much like, I want to get this motherfucker out of here. How y'all doing? Good night. So long. Let's go home. But for Pacquiao, what's the difference if you fight Keith Thurman again and give a portion of your money? What's the difference if you fight a Terrence Crawford and, give them a portion of your money? I mean, competitively, nobody really wants to see. I mean, who really wants to see this shit? But the people that's over, and I'm like, I see, it's the fanboys. Okay. Because let me be honest with you, I wasn't even excited about Conor fighting Floyd. I just knew it was about that bag, and I knew it was like, yep, Neither one of them. There's nobody in MMA that kind of can fight that's going to come close to no $100 million. I don't give a fuck what Dana White try to hype up and try to make y'all think like he's paying these guys all this money. No, they're fucking not making nothing near what the top boxers are making. And there's nobody that he could afford. He can, no matter who he fight, his career wouldn't end up in $100 million fighting in MMA. There's nobody Floyd could afford. That would have made him nobody, not even Pacquiao. That'd have been the closest. You know, he made $200 million fighting Pacquiao, right? Now Pacquiao made $100 million or something like that. So in this fight, he had it $300 million. So it was about that bag and the spectacle, the show itself. You know, and Floyd carried that guy. Y'all foolish enough to believe that Conor just posed such a threat. Floyd couldn't figure him out. More power to you. But I mean, why is it that, I mean, even to say this is for relief in the Philippines. Okay, cool. Cool. I know I'm not hearing like this is his last fight. I didn't hear him say, hey, after this I'm retiring or nothing like that. Relief or not, I mean, maybe it's because he knows he can beat Conor. Like, I'll secure that win. I'll beat it. And you notice how nobody's saying, hey, why don't you fight Conor and let him kick and throw elbows and knees? Like they were saying with Floyd. You notice that, right? It's, oh, yeah, this is going to be a good fight. Okay. Are y'all going to show? Obviously not. Obviously not. Because the question I was going to ask is, y'all going to show this same hate towards Pacquiao? This same shade throwing like y'all was doing Floyd? And he's fighting for a lot less money than what Floyd was. Floyd and McGregor would never have happened if it wasn't the huge payday that it was. Floyd didn't fight Conor to prove he can beat him. It was, I'm going to get that bag. This is going to be something. Roy Jones actually was the one who, I mean, if you go back to Muhammad Ali and Antonio Inoki, that mess of a fight, if you want to call it that. And then basically Roy Jones, as far as this era, he was the one that, you know, him and Anderson Silva, it never happened. And I don't think it wouldn't have had the same impact because at that point in Roy's career, Roy had already, he was no longer, you know, the Roy that we had. You know, he was no longer dominant. But he was the one that was talking about that. And then the situation with that, with him and Anderson Silva never happened. But Pacquiao, he could still make, you know, he's going to make millions if he fight. I think anybody who loves boxing would really want to see Pacquiao fight one of the top welterweights. I mean, seriously. Now, is this going to go on Pacquiao's record? I mean, yeah, criticize Floyd for going out against, Andre Berto, who's a boxer, and I guarantee you, I don't like to say guarantee, but I feel strongly in a boxing match, Andre Berto would beat the shit out of Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor can't fucking box. He's a striker. The guy, he was so arrogant, Conor didn't even want to let boxers train him. He trained with his MMA guys and his strike and his style. He didn't even want, that would be like, imagine fucking Jerry Rice calling out Michael Jordan and talking shit. I whoop your ass in the game of ball. They play and Jordan whoop his ass and then, you know, Jerry Rice and his friends start going, play him in a game of football. Hey, look, motherfucker, you wanted to fight. If we boxing, cool, right? You wanted to play me in basketball. I whooped your ass. Simple. Fuck you and football. You were so arrogant you thought you could come into my world and beat me. Simple. So all that bullshit is like going back and forth. Oh, how come? Like if he do this, he do that. Look, James Toney went in there and jumped in there with Randy Couture. Didn't train, didn't respect MMA enough to realize, yo, you need to learn this. Because if he gets past those hands and gets you on the ground, then what? Then what? Which is what happened. Which is exactly what happened. And it was like, what, first round, I mean, it was so quick and just grabbed the dude's leg and Tony just dropped like a sack of potatoes, man. You know, from there, Randy just played with him and submitted him, basically. You know, I mean, it's two different worlds, man. You agree to go into one, then that's what you agreed to. Stop all the excuses. I'm just, you know, it's just funny, how all of a sudden when Floyd did it, see, success brings hate out of people, man. Real talk. Floyd did it, it was, oh man, what you fighting Conor for? Or why don't we fight him in MMA? Nobody saying the same thing about Pacquiao though. And like I said, I understand the cause, but like I'm not interested. Just like I wasn't interested when Floyd fought Conor. I wasn't like, oh man, I really want it. I watched it, not live. I caught that shit on the replay, like not ordering that shit. That's how I felt about it. And I knew what Floyd was doing. I knew what Conor was doing. Pacquiao, and don't get me wrong, I'm not at all saying Pacquiao should do it for the same reason Floyd did it or whatever. I mean, you know, he like you said, part of that money is going to, you know, relief in the Philippines. But, you know, I'm saying the way, the backlash that people gave Floyd. And you know what's so funny, man? And this is just a pattern in both of their careers. A lot of the same guys Floyd and Pacquiao never fought. Then a lot of the same guys they did fight. The funny thing is, with the exception of Marquez, Floyd always fight the guy first, then Pacquiao comes behind and fight somebody that he fought. So why is all of a sudden a boxer versus an MMA guy in a boxing ring a good idea? With the exception of, I don't expect Pacquiao to play with him and carry him like Floyd did. I expect Pacquiao to go in there and just rip his ass open, get him up out of there, get that money and go. That's, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. But it's so funny how nobody's back there and giving Pacquiao the backlash. You know, and I'm just saying, like, I don't see anything wrong with what he's doing. Just like I didn't see anything wrong with Floyd did it. But a lot of other people did. I mean, one guy's doing it for relief and, of course, for himself. And then the other guy is doing it to secure his and his kids and grandkids and their grandkids generational wealth and to build up from there and have things going on business-wise where no matter what his kids doing on the outside, they always have somewhere to go where money's there. You know, financial security. I mean, you have to be stupid to say somebody, oh man, he doing it for that. It's like I always say, like Sean Porter, for example. You know, I like Sean Porter as a fighter, but like I said, I gotta call bullshit when I see it and when I smell it. Sean Porter talks, he was saying that Floyd Mayweather, he think he chose Berto because he wanted the knockout. He knows pretty much Berto was, you know, Berto was not one of them, meaning him, Thurman, and Garcia and all that. And then who did he go around and fight afterwards? Who did Sean Porter jump in there and fight? And it took him 8 rounds to beat a washed up fighter. Who did he go in there and fight? Andre Berto. So it's so funny how when Floyd fight a person, it's just so how people want to, you know, the vultures come down. Want to pick the bones and all that. But then it's like, oh, wait, not yet. I want to fight him too. Don't mean anything, man. Don't mean anything. The hypocrisy is just crazy. But yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting because according to Conor, the fight's happening. And I keep seeing all these, you know, posters up about all on the net about the two of them fighting. So it is what it is. Like I said, I'm not against the fight. I'm just not hyped up for it. No, I will not order it. No, I will not watch it when it happens live. You know, if I catch it, I'll catch it somewhere on the replay. It's nothing I'm looking forward to. Like I said, I didn't look forward to it when Floyd fought him. I just understood what was going on. I ain't gonna get mad at nobody for going to get that bag. Now, you know, it's different when somebody just go and lay down. You know, that's different. You're going to just lay down, man. You ain't even put up a fight. But, you know, like I said, I didn't order that nonsense, and I ain't going to order this shit. And the reason I called it nonsense, I knew there was no way in fuck Conor was going to beat Floyd. I knew his arrogance and his ego, but like I said, hey, shit, $300 million, I ain't mad at you. Go get that bag, man. Shh. Yeah, $300 million? I know what that was about. Like I said, I didn't hear anything about Pacquiao retiring. You know, last I heard of Pacquiao from his mouth was him saying that he wanted to fight against Errol Spence and he wanted these other fights. So, I don't know. You know, for those who's interested in this fight, you'll watch. Me personally, I'm not interested. I'll probably watch, like I said, a replay or something. I'll be damned no. I'm not excited about this fight. To be honest with you, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Not only that, for Conor, what is Conor, 30 years old, 30, 31, something like that. And he's targeting guys over 40. When it comes to boxing, y'all haven't noticed that? It's not just because of their star power, man. You know, it is and it isn't, because Canelo's a big star. They're around the same age. Why you don't call out Canelo for a boxing match? Why you don't call out the Charlos for a boxing match? You know, don't jump in the boxing ring, like I said, then get your ass kicked and then start talking shit about, oh, come fight me in MMA. Nobody's making you or forcing you. You're doing it for that bag too. And you're always picking out somebody small. Somebody small and over 40. And 40 and up, just like you did with Floyd. Now it's Pacquiao. Look at you, who he chose for a sparring partner. Paulie Malignaggi. Who's he going to choose this time? Who's he going to choose this time? It's not going to be anybody, you know, really. It'll be some little poo-putt, little slap boxing type boxer that he choose to spar with. I believe that. You know, we'll see how it goes. Not that I really care. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say in this video. And remember, never fall in love with lies. And the truth brings hate out of people. Catch y'all on the next one.